Hey everyone, this is Matt from Nostalgia Land. Thank you for joining us. I am actually all by myself here in the studio this week. I believe Trey and Tyler left a note. Let me see what that says exactly. Okay. All right. Interestingly enough, Trey was called to serve in Vietnam. Not in a war or fight or anything. There's a really good restaurant over there, and they apparently called him and asked him to come serve with them for a little while. I'm sure he'll be back in the country soon. And then let's see, Tyler. Okay. Tyler won a voucher on the next SpaceX launch to the sun. So best of luck to Trey and Tyler. Love you too, and hope the best. Absolutely. So I am actually I'm in the studio. I'm in my mobile studio at the moment, which is my car, because we are moving this week, and we had a little too much going on, a little too much to do to come back and sit down and talk. But I did want to send out a quick message and let everyone know that we're okay, we're safe, we didn't fall off the planet. Well, Tyler is off the planet, but I'm sure he'll be back. That has to be a round trip. That can't be a one-way thing. But yeah, I did want to talk a minute, now that I have you, and it's just me by myself. I figured that this could be a quick or our longest episode ever recorded. So I could go 10 minutes, or I could quite possibly go 4 hours, depending on what my ADHD brings to mind. No, actually, I did have a couple things that I wanted to talk about. A few recommendations, a few things to jump in for our listeners, for those who, all of us who grew up in the 80s, 90s, who are now parents of our own. Parenting as a personal, unprofessional expert in parenting, I have to say, what happened to us? Where did we lose track of how we grew up? I can't tell you. So whenever I go to playgrounds or parks and I have my kids with me, we live in South Florida, and they have these trees that are called banyan trees. And banyan trees have a lot of vines, a lot of great places to grip and climb up. And most of them are fairly low to the ground, and they have big, large areas in the center of them where you can see, not more than maybe 10 or, at most 15 feet up. And sure enough, for us in our elder youth, if we were to fall from that height, that would be pretty devastating. But man, I have seen these rubber children fall from a multitude of platforms, varying from 3 feet off the ground to 8 feet off the ground, and they bounce. They quite literally bounce. And maybe that's all the gluten, or I don't know, or what, but they can hit the ground and they don't get hurt. And I remember falling out of trees and hitting the ground, and literally falling out of a 15-foot tree, hitting the ground. I got the wind knocked out of me, but I got up. It was in my neighbor's backyard. I got up and I just went home. I remember I went home and I thought, my shoulder kind of hurt. It was just a little stiff from where I landed. So I just sat in the pool, in the shallow end of the pool for 20 or 30 minutes, and it cooled down. It was burning hot. I don't know if any of you have had that experience where you get hit and it starts warming up, and maybe that's the inflammation to try to protect things. But yeah, so we live in South Florida, and whenever I take my daughters, and I've talked about this on the show before, but whenever I take my two kids to the playgrounds, there's these great banyan trees that are they're meant to be climbed. And I honestly I feel bad trying to tell my children, don't have a childhood, don't climb that tree. But whenever they do, other parents will come up to me and say, hey, is that your kid up in the tree? I'm like, yeah, that's my kid up in the tree. And they would go, well, do you mind telling her to come down? Because when she's up there, my kid wants to go up there. and they want to climb the tree. And in most cases, I've said, yeah, okay, yeah, I totally understand. Your kid isn't as capable as mine, and I certainly don't want other children to be hurt just because my kid knows how to do that. But it is frustrating, though, sometimes, because it limits my kids' play. It limits their abilities and what they can do, what they feel comfortable with, and it's always, of course, you want to consider it's out of the greater concern for everyone. But my thing is, didn't you go? These aren't old parents. These are people our age, 35 to maybe 45. I was like, didn't you grow up in the 80s? Didn't you grow up in the 90s? Don't you remember leaving the house? Not no phone, no way to communicate with your parents or the outside world, and you just wandered your neighborhood looking for your friends, riding your bikes. Didn't you remember? Didn't you grow up in times when Pizza Hut had a smoking and a non-smoking section? We didn't live with rubber bumpers. Rubber baby buggy bumpers. No, rubber bumpers on everything. We didn't live with knee pads and we scraped our knees. And guess what? We're all still here. We survived. And I don't want my kids to keep, I realize what's happening about them is now, they're growing up and I want them to be considerate, but I don't want them to be anxious. I don't want them to be, to be nervous about how they're playing and how they're exploring and how they're engaging with their world. And so I have a hard time and with communicating with these other parents. They're just your kid doesn't know how to climb that tree because you never let them climb the tree. And for better reasons, I think I've just heard on a couple, other actual professional parents, people who study child behavior and how they grow up and develop, and certainly better experts than I'll ever be. But they were saying that we're too engaged in our kids' play, that they come to us and they don't know what to do. They don't know how to be outside, just existing, or come up with their own activities, and that's never going to be something that's going to be normal throughout the rest of their life. No one can just, it's that kind of self-starting mentality. But yeah, so for parents out there, I just want to say, let your kids climb a tree. Let them learn how to fall right, so they don't get hurt. Otherwise, they'll be in their mid-20s. They'll take a wrong step off a curb. They'll fall on their hip, and that's the end of it. The other thing too about parents these days is in talking with them and sharing with them, I love to encourage other parents to watch what their children are watching, to look at the shows, the cartoons, whatever it might be, and really pay attention to a couple of things. Is there a story, or is it just the characters are just constantly screaming at each other? There's a couple of shows that my daughters love to watch that I will let them watch it, but sparingly, because then I tell them, no, you need to watch something now with a story, something with a lesson, something with, a character that is, in a dilemma that isn't, how many sticks of dynamite, that can they handle before they, before they give up, chasing the Roadrunner. But as much as I love those cartoons, I love that when I was growing up, there were shows like Hey Arnold, that had a character who could be silly, could be funny, but it was all very realistic, kind of kids in this neighborhood. And they would have some real problems, some really interesting, unique problems. And Arnold's position about it was always a position of understanding. And if you're a kid like me growing up in the 90s, or you grew up 80s, 90s, and you knew that show, you know what I'm talking about. You understand that this character was someone that you wanted to be when you grew up. And Arnold, I think, is only 12 years old or something like that. He's 12 or 13 maybe. I think he's in the 4th grade, if I remember correctly. But yeah, take a moment and look at the shows your kids love, the ones they keep coming back to, and ask yourself, is there a story here? Is there a lesson? Is there something? It's fun to have those shows that are just crazy. We all loved Angry Beavers, and wacky wild shows like that made no sense, like Kablam, for example, just a variety show of the most nonsensical stories and characters you could get. It was great, but they should, in the balance of things, I believe, and back me up, hit me in the comments if you disagree or don't disagree, but I believe there should be a show that is on your child's watch list that actively engages them to understand, maybe some more complex storylines, and that have, a character that could resemble someone that you would like them to be as an adult. Yeah, so I'll get off that soapbox now, but the other thing I want to talk about too is the scoliosis test in the 90s. And what the hell was that? I just I had a moment the other day. My wife and I were talking, and we were just sharing experiences, and there was the scoliosis test, and I remember the year, it was like maybe 2001, and I had gotten to middle school, and I'm dating myself now, but got into middle school, and all of a sudden, out of one of the random activities of the day, they called all the boys out of our homeroom, and they said, "Hey, come on out. You're gonna line up here." And we're all standing around. We're talking, and it wasn't a doctor. It wasn't a nurse. It was our PE coach, the guy that I seen, standing, walking behind the portables. Is I don't know if many people in outside of Florida know. So when the school doesn't have enough money to build a whole new like wing to their school, but the school's grown and it's gotten bigger. They used to just throw us in trailers out in the parking lot and just tell us to go learn, trailer children. Like just go out there. They wouldn't bother. Now I drive by my old school. I guess they got the funds and everything because it's been 24 years or so, but now they have a full building completely committed to. But anyway, so this man this coach of ours, I remember he would be smoking cigarettes behind the trailers in the morning, and that was just part of his routine, holding a cup of coffee, smoking a cigarette. And so he comes to our class and he tells all the boys, come on, you're going to line up here, and you're going to be, we're going to go over here to the locker rooms, which we did not use. No one used it. And there was a nurse, and she was saying that she's kind of talking to the coach, and they're trying to explain to us what's going to happen. And it's that you're gonna bend over, lift the back. This sounds so horrible. You're going to lift the back of your shirt, and this nurse is going to look at your spine for scoliosis. And even then, as a kid, I thought, shouldn't I just go to my normal doctor for this? Did anyone else have this experience? That it was totally unplanned. I don't remember them sending a form. I don't remember it's for my parents to sign. Like, I don't remember sending them any of that to help understand what's actually going to happen on this day of school. I just remember it being like a Tuesday or a Wednesday morning, and we got called out to get a scoliosis test, and there was no reason for it. But anyways, I think they did like 3 kids. And then something happened because the principal showed up. And maybe the principal, and all I can think of is that the principal showed up and was like, hey, like, we just realized we didn't send the forms home. No one knows that we're doing this. And so we have to stop. We have to stop this completely unsupervised. Like, there was a nurse, but I don't know where she's from. She wasn't even in scrubs. She just had it's slipped my mind, the stethoscope around her neck, and she was just in a t-shirt and jeans and had a stethoscope, and I guess that just means doctor. That means medical person, and enough that she could check us for scoliosis. But I was just like, why are we doing this in school? This should just be a part of our normal physical with our normal doctors that we had all been seeing for most of our young adult lives. So yeah. I would love to hear if you had a weird random experience with a scoliosis check in your school growing up, if that was a part of it. As always, please hit us down in the comments. Let us know what you would like. We got a comment a couple of weeks ago. I'm so sorry I missed it, for Jurassic Park. And we definitely definitely have to do Jurassic Park, which is one of my favorite films. Not just to watch it from front to back, but it's also to watch it from back to front. If you had a VCR growing up and you would rewind it, it would just be everyone coming back to an island where dinosaurs threw up people and and re-egged themselves, re-encapsulated themselves within their egg. They're looking around, they go, oh no, this is not for me, and they just go right back in and seal up the eggs. So yeah, I would love to do Jurassic Park 3. As always, thank you again for joining us. You can find our Patreon, Nostalgialand, on patreon.com. Our Instagram is nostalgialand.podcast, as well as our YouTube is nostalgialand.podcast. And then you can also find us on Etsy, which is Nostalgialand Shop, where we have some great items. Right now, it's been our favorite, and we're just kind of still running with it. It's our 90s jazz beer cup. I recreated the 90s jazz design, which is that turquoise and purple, kind of slash scribble that I think we all seen on cups and stuff. And I recreated that, changed it around a little bit so that it was it's like an endless little loop design. And I've been slapping it on everything, on beer steins, mugs, t-shirts, glasses for beer and stuff. And it's a solid product from these places. So go check that out, Nostalgialand Shop, on Etsy. But yeah, as always, I'm Matt. Thank you for joining us, and we'll be back soon. Take care.